Did y'all hear Trump tweeting that we bombed Iran? Damn, I really hope we didn't. It'd be really nice if that wasn't the case. Oh, God. Oh, God. Well, between 10:09 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. Central Time on Friday night, 8 KC-135 Stratotankers, aircraft used for in-flight refueling and heavy equipment lifting, were visible on flight tracking websites taking off from Altus Air Force Base in Oklahoma. Cool. Shit. Well, that's really fucking bad. The B-2 bomber is the only bombing craft we have capable of carrying the munition to bomb the Fordo nuclear site in Iran. So it does seem like he's keeping his option on the table, and it seems like he's leaning towards doing it. Really fucking hope that it doesn't wind up being nuclear ordnance. Really fucking hope. We wouldn't, but Taco? Yeah, Taco. The Taco tendencies might save us. It's on CNN. Oh, shit.
Technically, the B-52H could also carry it, but those are 70 years old and still in service.
Damn! You know, they don't make shit like they used to. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. I'm not seeing the Trump tweet story. The worst thing they can put in that thing right now is a bunker buster. I just think that the guy who has a history of wanting to nuke other countries, especially countries like Iran, might, do something fucking nuts. Yeah, I'm not seeing any reporting on CNN that says we have struck Iran. Dropped a link in current events. Israel claims killing of an Iranian commanders. Conflict enters second week. Yeah, but again, this is a link to, he's considering it. He's been considering it for days. Oh, wait, nope, never mind. Less than a minute ago, Trump announces airstrikes on 3 nuclear sites in Iran. Donald Trump announced Saturday that the U.S. has completed a very successful attack on nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. We've completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo. Yeah. A full payload of bombs was dropped at the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There's not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace! Thank you for the attention to this matter. I hate him a lot. I'm sorry, you can't bomb a country and then say peace talks? That's not how that works. Also, be aware of one thing, right? Be aware of one thing as we go deeper into this, because there's only one way we can go with this. And I mean, one, I'm glad at the very least it wasn't a nuclear strike, at least in the sense that I was afraid of. And number 2, there has never been an air campaign capable of regime change. There has never been an air campaign capable of regime change. And the goal of Israel here, ostensibly, is regime change. The goal of the United States here, and the hawks that are supportive of this type of intervention, this type of engaging in acts of war, is regime change. And that is not possible to do without boots on the ground, without an invasion of Iran. It's just not, it's not possible. So I'm not entirely sure. If the goal here is to keep Iran from getting nuclear weapons, I don't think this is going to do it. It might delay them slightly, but not by much. Well, exactly, Phoenix Sable. What this does is incentivize getting a nuclear weapon for them. It's apparently the only thing that will prevent them from trying to just bomb with impunity, right? And John Bainbridge, the president cannot declare war without Congress. Though remember, this Congress is dominated by Republicans. So who the fuck knows? Those peace talks might be contingent on them accepting regime change. Well, that's the thing. The Iranian leadership isn't going to do that. They saw what happened to Gaddafi. They're not at all chuffed at the idea of turning themselves over and being prosecuted and killed, which is undeniably what would happen to them. And again, it doesn't really matter if like he doesn't have. I mean, I guess in the sense that like he can't declare war and then draft people into the conflict, but like it's bad. Are we at DEFCON 2? I mean, I have to be honest, guys. All I know is this is fucking bad. That's my analysis. Also keep in mind that Iran already had enriched uranium. And there was speculations that they had enough already on hand to make nuclear weapons. So I don't know that bombing the enrichment facilities is actually going to do all that much if like they put all of their efforts into creating. I hate the Republican Party with every fiber of my being. If you're an anti-war Republican, do you speak out now and put actions behind your words? The thing is, this is why I hate Republicans. They aren't principled at all. They follow their leader. And their leader is like, actually, I'm not anti-war anymore. I'm going to bomb another country. And every single one of the pigs that lines up behind him will eat up that slop. It doesn't matter. You know, like Tucker Carlson might score some points on Ted Cruz, and at some point we'll go over that interview. Understand that the reason the reason Tucker Carlson is doing that is because he's eyeing a future in politics. He's eyeing like being kind of a next Trump-like figure with his Swanson frozen food fortune. Even the principled anti-war Republican is he has ulterior motives. Okay, he's not. None of them are doing it out of principle. I feel sick to my stomach. Yeah, that is a reasonable response to what's happening.
I just want to know how Cuomo would combat Trump with the lavish fellatio he's going to give him for defending Israel.
God, well, that's the thing, Sake Tanuki. He won't. He won't combat Trump. Yeah, this is worth pointing out. Iran is probably going to start retaliating in ways that are really, really, really going to hurt the global economy. Like, Iran is not a global power, but Iran is a regional power of no small amount of agency. They could effectively shut this down, the Strait of Hormuz. We're starting to get into, especially because they've promised intense retaliation if the United States got involved, and now the United States is undeniably involved. And, it's going to get really ugly really quick. If they do shut down the Strait of Hormuz, this would be like the... sorry, I should play the video. This is the movement of shipping containers and oil. The transportation of oil gets threatened. Donald Trump will view that as like a casus belli, That's really bad. Yeah, this is the pathway being laid out. It's literally Iraq 2.0. They have some WMDs in there. Time to invade because of oil. That is the exact playbook that is being played out again, and Republicans are falling for it again. We're like, if this keeps on escalating, and I don't see a de-escalation route for Donald Trump here, or the Republican warhawks that are salivating. This is like the first time they've been hard in years, and they're salivating at the idea of putting boots on the ground in Iran. What's going to happen here, mark my words, if this continues, trillions of dollars, hundreds of thousands, millions of people dead, predominantly Iranians.
A palate cleanser.
Oh, God. I don't know if I'm ready for a palate cleanser yet.
You told me you got caught up in the...
I do. Actually, this is a very apropos palate cleanser, because I do like this guy a lot. I like this clip.
You told me you got caught up in the tear gas as well. Describe what happened to you.
Oh, just tasted a little tear gas. Tasted like fascism.
Taste of fascism in my mouth intensifies. BS started in the 1950s. It's always been about the oil. I don't care what Israel says, of course, and I don't care what the US government says. It's always about the fucking oil. It is genuinely almost always about the fucking oil. Hope that guy's doing okay today. And keep in mind, folks, the Republican Party we're dealing with right now is a death cult. They've gone all in on Donald Trump. They are more than willing to sacrifice human lives of Americans, and they view non-Americans as subhuman. And like, there is going to be some kind of retaliation on a large scale. And I can only think of two different things. And one is messing with the oil, and the other is they have some kind of nuclear device. Those are the two things I can think of that would be a sufficient retaliatory escalation from them to demonstrate that people should stop fucking with them. And I don't like either of those possibilities. We're in some really uncharted water here, and it's real bad. And I just want to say personally, fuck every single Republican who talked about how anti-war Donald Trump was. Fuck every single, liberal who carried water for Donald Trump being anti-war. Fuck every single, pundit who said, oh, no new wars. He's going to hold to that. I just, the juxtaposition on CNN between these posts. Trump announces airstrikes on 3 nuclear sites in Iran. The previous story 30 minutes prior, Trump prefers a diplomatic option toward Iran, but only if Tehran makes significant concessions. Literally just 20 minutes prior. That's crazy. People were still giving him the fucking benefit of the doubt 20 minutes prior. So what actually is happening? What actually is happening is that B-2 bombers, stealth bombers, flew through Iranian airspace, dropped their payloads on 3 different sites, including the Fordo facility, and then flew out. So 3 different sites were struck, which represents a major escalation in the conflict. It represents the America getting directly involved in the conflict beyond just helping with air defense. And it all but guarantees there is no peaceful solution here. And so that is what is happening. Is there any footage of the attack? No, because it was conducted by stealth bombers. So if they have footage, they're probably not going to release that. Footage on the ground, I believe, is of Iranian, nuclear sites that I don't believe they have civilians filming them. Do you know where they hit? They hit 3 different nuclear sites. I know the Fordo one named Natanz, and another named Esfahan. So those are the 3 sites that got hit. And yeah, there are going to be a lot of Democrats who are equally hawkish. Let's see what Al Jazeera has to say right now. Trump shares social media post saying Fordo is gone. Only several days have passed since Trump issued the 2-week time frame. It was literally just lying. That's it. This is the thing, right? So much in the media, it just comes down to he lied. He lied. He had no intentions of 2 weeks. I was hoping that the lie was that he was just gonna hope people forgot it in 2 weeks. But turns out the lie was just giving our troops time to position and then strike. Yeah, and no kidding. Trump did not seek congressional approval for the strikes. In the Senate and House of Representatives, legislators from both major parties had put forward legislation to compel Trump to go to Congress before attacking Iran's nuclear site, but Trump preempted the votes on the bills. No new wars. No new wars. No new wars. Fuck every single one of those ghouls. He did say within 2 weeks, true. He's giving an address at 10 p.m. about the strike. God, he's basically going to jerk off on stage, isn't he? So many people are going to die, guys. And the worst part is he's going to talk about how, now is the time for us to negotiate. And the entire, mainstream media establishment is going to go along with it and say, now the ball is in Iran's court as to whether they're going to negotiate. And it's just that's real bad, guys. Paladin, I can't wait to see beautiful airstrike or beautiful missile added to the cultural lexicon. It makes me want to throw up. That's genuinely the physical reaction I'm having right now. If I'm not being super articulate, it's because I feel like I should throw up. It's taking everything in me, not the Fed post. Yeah. Gwyneth Forever, don't permanently check out. This is bad, but it's not worth doing that. Keep in mind, folks, I don't think that there is any chance of Iran striking the United States. That is not really in the cards. Iran is not a global superpower. But the much more likely outcome is them hitting international oil shipping. Just the first 3 to 5 minutes? All right.
We'll hear General Wesley Clark in his
I do like Amy.
own words on the possibility of a U.S. attack on Iran, the impeachment of President Bush, the use of cluster bombs, the bombing of radio television Serbia during the Kosovo War under his command, and much more. I interviewed General Clark on Tuesday at the 92nd Street Y
An oldie, but still applicable.
in New York. Now let's talk about Iran. You have a whole website devoted to stopping war.
www.stopiranwar.com.
Out of curiosity, is that still a thing? No, it is not. It redirected to what looks like a Vietnamese gambling website.
Do you see a replay of what happened in the lead up to the war with Iraq? The allegations of the weapons of mass destruction, the media leaping on to the bandwagon.
Well, in a way, but history doesn't repeat itself exactly twice.
How does Amy Goodman look exactly the same 12 years later? Like, this is nuts.
What I did warn about when I testified in front of Congress in 2002, I said, if you want to worry about a state, it shouldn't be Iraq, it should be Iran. But this government, our administration, wanted to worry about Iraq, not Iran. I knew why, because I'd been through the Pentagon right after 9/11. About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me. And one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September.
Shh, Vicky Klee. I know this is a lot older than that, but don't make me feel that old.
I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, and he said, I just got this down from upstairs," meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran." I said, "Is it classified?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Well, don't show it to me." And I saw him a year or so ago, and I said, "You remember that?" He said, "Sir, I didn't show you that memo. I didn't show it to you."
I'm sorry, what did you say his name was?
I'm not going to give you his name.
So go through the countries again.
Well, starting with Iraq, then Syria.
I feel like we kind of are getting the gist of it here, but this is
And Lebanon, then Libya, then Somalia and Sudan, and then back to Iran. So when you look at Iran, you say, is it a replay? It's not exactly a replay, but here's the truth, that Iran from the beginning has seen that the presence of the United States in Iraq was a threat. A blessing, because we took out Saddam Hussein and the Baathists. They couldn't handle them. We took care of it for them, but also a threat.
Oh God. Okay. I wanted to play Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Here is Donald J. Trump's Truth Social. I will be giving an address to the nation at 10 p.m. at the White House regarding our very successful military operation in Iran. This is a historic moment for the United States of America, Israel, and the world. Iran must now agree to end this war. Thank you. Like, what a fucking freak. What a fucking freak. Like, anyone who stands for this guy is also a fucking freak. I don't know that we're officially at war, Lady Ringcloud, but I don't know that the distinction matters. I hate him so much. Same here. I think that what's happening is that Truth Social is having some problems due to the fact that there's probably a lot of people visiting the website to check his Truth Social account. Oh, you found the archived version of the Stop War with Iran website. Let's check it out. Oh, that's interesting. Seems like a lot of information. I'm not sure what to make out of this. It doesn't seem particularly... Yeah, I don't know. This does not seem like a particularly effective website, let me put it that way. Well, the Houthis have now made a statement. Mohammed Al-Fatra, a member of the Yemeni group's political bureau, is saying that, quote, destroying a nuclear facility here, and there is not the end of the war, but its beginning. The time of hit and run is gone. That's cool. The Houthis are now threatening to attack ships in the Red Sea. Democrat Sarah Jacobs in Congress says Trump's strikes against Iran are not only unconstitutional, but an escalation that risks bringing the United States into another endless and deadly war. Well, I don't see this ending in any way that is good for us or for anyone. Here's an update from Al Jazeera. The president has been, for the last few days, convening his national security team in the Situation Room. And what he has been asking, according to my sources, is if it was possible to strike these facilities to eradicate the nuclear program and not draw the United States into a broader conflict. Now, you could argue that there is a different thinking on this. Some people say that this is going to draw the U.S. into a broader conflict. But what he was advised is that this could be an effective single-strike operation, that this would allow for dismantling of the program and would still not allow for any escalation. So based on that guidance, we could assume this was a one-off, but it all depends on how the allies of Iran will react. We know that they have strong alliances with China, with Russia. We also know that there was careful warning that was given to the United States in advance of these strikes, and that was, if you assist Israel, there will be a price to pay. So Donald Trump has been advised that as commander-in-chief, this will not lead to escalation. That is the guidance he's acted on. So, I mean, I guess we're gonna see what happens, what the end result of dipshit politics is gonna be. I guess we're gonna find out what happens when you fill a room with a bunch of people who just want to convince a moron that he should poke the bear. Yeah, like, I don't know in what world, like, bombing a country isn't an escalation of a conflict. Dude literally thought he can just, like, bomb a country and get away scot-free. There would be, like, oh, no one will retaliate. You only destroyed some of their most valuable assets. Because this has broader geopolitical consequences, right? It's not just what Iran will do. It's what all of Iran's allies will do. You know, it is either that he doesn't think Iran will strike any U.S. military sites, or he just doesn't care. Unfortunately, fleeing to Canada will not get us... will not, in fact, stop the stupidity from unfolding. He doesn't think his brain is soup. Well, yeah, yeah. But that's kind of what I mean, right? Like, when I say he's a dumbass, I mean it's because he doesn't really think for himself. He's just told what to do by, like, Stephen Miller, you know? Man, I hope a lot of those Republicans that voted for Trump because egg prices were high are excited about how this is going to work out for their bottom line. Of course they're all gonna fall in line, but, like, this is undoubtedly gonna, like, make them all worse in every conceivable way. Did anybody actually vote over egg and gas prices? I'm sure that there were some people who actually voted because they thought the material conditions for themselves and their family would improve. Yeah, again, if you live in the conservative media bubble, that's what they tell you. If you're in that conservative media bubble, they inundate you with messaging that is what this is all about. And then, you know, they beat the drums of war and turn Republicans into pigs who will eat the slop and go to war. Also, Israel has been lobbying to get the United States into the conflict because, of course, it has. God, there's nothing quite as ghoulish as seeing, like, the military intelligence apparatus, both old and new, fall in line behind this. Here's CNN has an update here. Every intelligence gathering asset that the U.S. has focused on Fordo, according to a retired U.S. general. See, quote, you can anticipate that every intelligence gathering asset that the United States has, from satellite to communications intelligence to human intelligence, is now focused at least on Fordo to make sure that they have an accurate reading of what damage has been done to that site. And if they're going to be a need for attack or re-attack, Brigadier General Mark Kimmett, retired, told CNN. Kimmett said he was fascinated and impressed by U.S. President Donald Trump's announcement that the U.S. had struck 3 nuclear sites in Iran. I never really could understand what the 2-week pause meant or what it was for, what was left to negotiate, Kimmett said. I think the use of deception and trickery in this case, first of all, was successful, but second of all, saved the potential loss of American lives. And I genuinely... I mean, you can certainly say that, sir, but that seems incredibly premature. No one is going to trust the states ever again. Lady Ringcloud, maybe step away for a day. You know, play a cute game or something. Watch, I don't know, Legally Blonde. I don't know, something light. I don't think I'm strong enough for these times. My honest suggestion is, if you are feeling very, very overwhelmed, is to go take a walk. Go take a walk, go listen to some birds. Often when people feel super overwhelmed with the anxiety that they are feeling or the fear that they are feeling, one of the good ways to deal with that is to, one, remind yourself that the world is a really big place. Most of it is good a lot of the time. And also, it can help to act out your anxiety. And what I mean by that is, if you're feeling your flight or your fight or flight response just going nuts, act out the fight, act out the flight, whichever you kind of roll into. Find a place where you can punch a punching bag a lot. Find a place where you can just run. It doesn't even have to be at a gym or anything. Just go and fucking run. And another thing that can help is that helps me sometimes when I feel internally disordered. Ordering my space can help a lot. And I also I know that I'm not advocating for just get some sunshine sweaty, you'll be fine. But genuinely, if you are really struggling, get some therapy. Have someone to talk to. It can help when you are feeling really trapped to do something that gets you a little bit more in touch with your body. I've been paralyzed with depression the last few days, but cleaning my room unironically helped a lot. Yeah, because sometimes what winds up happening is you look at a space that is very disordered and you just feel like it's too much trouble. It's too much trouble to get up and do anything for yourself. It's too overwhelming to even get started doing another task because you need to clean to do that other task first. So make the cleaning just an end in and of itself. When my partner's having a hard day, if I clean the house, that can help her a lot. When I'm having a hard day, walking into the kitchen and it's clean, it makes my heart feel really happy. And then it makes me better able to do something like cook a food or something that we both like. So cleaning your space can help a lot with how you feel internally. It can be a freeing type of sensation. Just got back and wrote my senator about what just happened, one step at a time. Hell yeah, Rhyme Jack, let's go. Do not feel it is hopeless, and do not feel like you are powerless, because that's when the despair really sets in. Continue to be active, continue to do stuff. Try to build long-term hope. Try to build long-term structures. Are we going to be okay? I mean, I think in the United States, we're going to be relatively okay. People in general in Iran are not going to be okay. Oh, good. Ken Klippenstein. U.S. military now briefing troops that its strike on Iran will likely result in counterstrikes on U.S. bases and facilities in the Middle East, and likely activate Iran and other foreign terrorist organization cells abroad, including the U.S., to conduct strikes against U.S. persons and facilities. Cool! Well, that's interesting. Ali Khamenei's Telegram account shares previous warning to the U.S. They didn't even make a new statement. They just retweeted, essentially, the televised comments from Wednesday. The damage it will suffer will be far greater than any harm Iran will encounter. Fuck Lindsey Graham. Again, the only way to conduct a regime change operation is with boots on the ground. There is no historical precedent for airstrikes doing regime change. Trump hopes strikes prompt new diplomacy and isn't currently planning additional U.S. strikes. I hate every single one of these Republicans. I'm angry, but this is also not unexpected. And I feel such profound... A lot of people are going to die who do not need to. Yeah, I mean, like, that is very true, late bloomer. Iran has shown more restraint than anyone else in this conflict so far. But I don't know really what they're capable of in the region. Like, I don't know if they're capable of putting boots on the ground in Israel. I don't know what their
Taking
what
care
their
of
play
yourself
is.
makes you able to take care of others. Also, never drink alone, only socially in moderation.
Yeah, like the thing is, you don't have to be like a stan for the Iranian government. Like it is what is about to unfold in my mind is just a colossal human tragedy. No other way of cutting it, really. It seems like residents in the city that's nearest the Fordo plant have heard the explosions to confirm on that end that things are going down. According to Iranian state media, there's no radioactive material at the targeted sites, so that's good. Though, and this is just breaking like a minute or so ago, a worrying thing from the analysts at Al Jazeera is that the comment suggests that Iranian authorities may have moved enriched uranium from the facilities before they were bombed. Yeah, okay. If that is the case, enriched uranium was moved prior to the strikes, then my guess would be that Iran's main play here would be to try and play for time, rapidly develop nuclear weapons, and conduct a successful nuclear test in order to demonstrate deterrence. I don't believe Iran has any delivery mechanism capable of actually sending a nuke to the United States, but they do obviously have delivery mechanisms that would enable them to deliver such a bomb to Israel. And I mean, that they have enough nuclear weapons, enough nuclear enriched uranium to produce anywhere from 5 to 10 nuclear warheads, was what I saw last. And so I'm not entirely sure what happens. Maybe in the short term, they shut down the Strait of Hormuz and fast track development somehow with what they already have. None of this goes well. It's not fully enriched, though. Yeah, I haven't. I believe I saw reports that the Fatah 1 was used on Israel, but I don't know that there was any confirmation that it had achieved like hypersonic speeds. I mean, I don't know that all of their nuclear scientists were taken out by the assassinations. Bingo. It might be, but like I would imagine a nuclear program involves a lot of nuclear scientists. You know, the last number of nuclear scientists I saw that had been killed was 14, which is a decent number, but I imagine there's a lot more. Yeah, I mean, I suppose if pushed far enough, like, it doesn't matter if the uranium isn't fully enriched if they can make, like, a dirty bomb. You know, if they're essentially pushed to, like, into a corner, that might be a weapon of last resort. Okay, I keep going over in my brain and trying to remember why it was that was deemed necessary to stop Iran from having nuclear energy. I keep going back to my original suspicion that the lack of nuclear energy would force Iran to remain dependent on oil, which would mean that Iran would continue to produce oil that the Western world could continue to control. Am I crazy for thinking that? I mean, I don't think that you're crazy for thinking that, but I think the primary concern was geopolitical, in that Iran is a powerful country regionally, and having nuclear weapons would open the door for it becoming a greater power. It's a geopolitical threat. But I do think that like oil it's never just one thing when you're talking about geopolitical concerns. It's always a combination of a bunch of different things. Oh God, the smugness in tonight's statement is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be ridiculous.
I was friends with a group of physicists years ago, various focuses. They're just nerdy fun people. It makes it more visceral that they were targeting folks like that just for having knowledge.
right? Von Tux, thank you for the $10 super chat. But there is something heinous and absolutely unaddressed in mainstream media about the assassinations of civilian scientists. It is something that has been underaddressed. Literally the dumbest thing that's happened in my lifetime. But it also, like, the White House officials feel like strikes were effective. They're all patting each other on the back. They feel the strike was very effective. Said the senior administration official made the point, I think importantly, they're speaking to regional leaders and to Iran that this is it. This is about the nuclear program. This is not an extended campaign. They still want to get back on the path of diplomatic arrangement. That's not gonna... I would be incredibly shocked if that is how this wound up developing. God, CNN, can you stop sucking off Donald Trump? U.S. strikes mark a stunning demonstration of military might and presidential power. That sounds like... Understand that when that is written deliberately to sound like masturbatory. Oh my God. Other presidents chose not to take this step in the belief that such action could ignite a full-on war with Iran. But the Middle East has changed. Israel has dismantled many of the Iranian proxies that it would have used to fight back. I think the Esfahan site historically was where they kept their enriched uranium stores. Though the fact that none of the sites demonstrate radiation indicates that perhaps the enriched uranium was not there. So we'll see how this goes. It might be a day or two until Iran actually responds. The U.S. piggybacks on the Saudi hegemony in the area, and a nuclear Iran threatens that. Yeah, I mean... any kind of U.S. response to all of this, to me, or not U.S. response, Iranian response, like, would involve, I mean, it could involve, like, devolving the entire region into civil war. Or not civil war, but you know what I mean.
This is a statement from Donald Trump, quote, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran," etc.
God, look at his face. He knows how bad this is.
I agree. And I want to tell you something. Not only is this news that I've just heard, the second alarming that all of you have just heard, but it is so grossly unconstitutional. All of you know that the only entity that can take this country to war is the U.S. Congress. The president does not have the right.
Honestly, Bernie is probably hitting on the reason why Donald Trump and his cabinet are like, oh, it's just the one strike, we swear. It's probably not to actually preserve any kind of diplomatic possibility. It's probably far more likely that it's to provide plausible deniability for dragging the United States into another war. As someone who remembers the Iraq War, I have a feeling this may morph into a George W. Bush situation again, and it pisses me off. I really hope not, because we need to avoid the trap that we fell into with Obama after George W. Bush. I mean, I would maybe get on the phone and call your senators tonight, folks. Get on the phone, call your House representatives, and make sure that they know any kind of vote to go to war, any kind of, like, sanctioning of what just happened here. I'm just going to link it in chat, 5calls.org. Now would be a great time to flood their mailboxes, flood their inboxes, flood their fax machines, flood their voicemails. Now would be the time to do that. I mean, hey, at least one Republican representative is saying that the president's strike on Iran was not constitutional. So that's good. We have one Republican congressman, Thomas Massey. Confirming kind of what we've been speculating about. Iran had evacuated nuclear sites reportedly struck by U.S. some time ago, state media director says. If the United States gets dragged into this, millions of people are going to die. wrote both of mine. Do not let them off easy. And if you'd like to write them via fax, again, you can send a free fax via faxzero.com, which has a handy fax your congressperson directory. But it allows you to send a fax for free. And some of these old fucks, they don't answer their phones, but they'll at the very least see those faxes. Could Trump use this to declare martial law? No, not really. Genuine question, is it ever ethical to assassinate or kidnap foreign civilian scientists? I don't generally know. I can't really think of a situation in which it would be okay to do that. Cry Vigor, thank you for coming into the Twitch stream. Appreciate it. Welcome. Big fan from YouTube. Wish it was under better circumstances. Would Mengele count? Well, I don't think Mengele was a civilian. Do they actually care what we say? Their offices track the calls, track the faxes, and I would remind you all that 14 calls, in a congressperson's inbox is considered a lot. Oh, this is super cool. Top Dems on intelligence committees were not briefed before strikes, but Republicans were. That is a really bad indication of where we're at politically. Both Democrats are on the Gang of Eight, which typically would have been briefed before a significant U.S. military engagement. The Gang of Eight includes the House and Senate leaders from each party, as well as the chairs and ranking members of the House and Senate Intelligence Committee. Jim Himes, top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, was not briefed. Senator Mark Warner, the ranking Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, also not briefed. Cool. Yeah, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is sucking off Donald Trump on social media. Yeah, all of these Republicans are patting themselves on the back and saying, look at us, preventing a nuclear weapon. What a jackass. What a fucking jackass and an embarrassment to the flag. Like, he literally drapes himself in it in his profile picture on his own social media website as he jerks himself off over, bombing another country. Fuck him. Fuck this fascist piece of garbage. It makes me so mad as someone who actually gives a fuck about this country and the people who live in it and the well-being of just human beings at large. It makes me so fucking mad. And a bunch of people who really care about the Epstein files are going to just sit there and suck this guy off, even though he's in Epstein's, he's in Epstein's book. He was Epstein's friend.
Called my rep and told her she has my approval to yell at Trump during the address. Or throw things. Hope it gets there on time.
Yeah, I think it would send a really strong message for a bunch of members of Congress to throw their shoes at Donald Trump. George W. could dodge one. Can Trump dodge 10 tomatoes? You throw tomatoes at jackasses? Fair. The thing that bothers me is that I believe that we can be so much better than what we are. And we are so far away from that at this particular moment. The latest YouGov poll said 60% of Americans don't want us to getting involved with Iran, and only 16% said yes. Trump is going to get even more unpopular. Silver linings or something. I really hope so. I really hope so, but I have a feeling that his cult of personality would follow him off a cliff. Was the insult you did against Trump Fed posting? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking. I don't know which post you're talking about. Just don't. Just if you are feeling the urge to threaten the president in any kind of way, don't. Just don't do that in my chat. I don't want you visited by the FBI. That's an indoor thought. It's an inside thought. You don't even have to be nice. Just, use common sense. Yeah, most Democratic leaders have said diddly shit about any of this. Handful of progressive U.S. lawmakers condemned Trump's decision to attack Iran. The primary congressional leaders of the Democratic Party have yet to issue statements on the unprovoked U.S. strikes. My guess is that Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are going to come out and say it was a masterful gambit, sir. Can we please lick up your fecal matter? We love you. Thank you. What a service you've done us. Oh, fuck Hakeem Jeffries. Jesus Christ. In a statement on Friday, Jeffries said that Iran could not become nuclear capable and that Israel has a right to defend itself. By preemptively attacking someone? By initiating a war? God, I hate these men. God, I hate the leadership of the Democratic Party. Incompetent, useless people. There were Democrats who supported the Iraq War too. Yeah, a lot of them. The people who didn't became somewhat of pariahs. What do you think Marjorie Taylor Greene says on this? I think she follows her dear leader off the cliff. We're in the freedom fries era again. Yeah. Hey, Narodia. Israel in full coordination with the U.S. during the attack, of course. I mean, like, just look at the ghoulishness of the reaction here. Here's Steve Bannon.
But there's others. I'm just reporting what I'm hearing from pretty good sources. The party is on. So another big weekend in this unfolding aspect of the Third World War. And no, anyone that's telling you that the Third World War is not here is absolutely does not understand the development and evolution of kinetic.
This guy's a Nazi, by the way. And he posted that, by the way, earlier today at 9:14 a.m. So Steve Bannon, a civilian, knew that we were about to bomb Iran. Yep, according to an Iranian official, fuel ships will not pass to Europe through the Strait of Hormuz. Yep. It leaked on an Australian politics interview from the Conservative speaker before it was announced too. Damn. How cooked are we? I mean, we aren't cooked is part of what's happening here. Like, the United States is gonna be fine, relatively. Materially, us in the United States, we're gonna be okay. The people of Iran are not going to be okay. And there is a very real risk of things escalating to boots on the ground. And I really thought we might have learned something from Iraq. I really thought so. Republicans don't learn. If they learned, they wouldn't be Republicans anymore. True. All of the mechanisms that may have prevented us from reaching this point have failed us. So I'm not entirely sure where we go from here. See what the updates are. U.S. informed Iran the strikes would be contained and that nothing further is planned. Cool. He sounded very, very happy. Analyst describes call with Trump. I hate this man. Are we in the cool zone? Yes, unfortunately. The cool zone is not named after how great it feels to be in the cool zone. Almost impossible to imagine Iran's supreme leader won't respond. The reality is it's not a one and done. The Iranians have invested $5 trillion in this nuclear program. They've just seen 9 days of abject humiliation on the part of the Israelis penetrating targets I'm sure not even our intel folks believed the Israelis could do. He said Iran is a threshold nuclear weapon state and has everything they need to assemble a bomb. Whether or not they're doing it, frankly, is likely irrelevant. They were doing it is likely irrelevant. They have short-range missiles capable against American targets in the Gulf. They've got asymmetrical warfare abroad, turning their terror apparatus loose on Israeli, American, and probably Jewish interests. And then, of course, you have Americans deployed in Iraq and Syria, which are vulnerable. This is going to be one of those sowing, fuck yeah, reaping, oh no situations.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a
can't even
stop to
say
the
the
nuclear
words.
threat
Jesus.
posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal.
There are many targets left.
But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel. And God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I hate this fuck. Didn't realize he was also the president of Israel. This is quite a change of events. I feel so angry and I feel so sad. And I don't know how to properly channel it in front of all of you. I mean, do we want Iran to have nuclear weapons? Our own intelligence indicated that they were not building nuclear weapons, Skipjack. Like it's literally just fucking Iraq again. It's just the war in Iraq. It's just the fucking they have WMDs somewhere. We gotta go find them. It's literally just that again. Oh, do you want Saddam Hussein to have biological weapons? Do you want Saddam Hussein to have a nuclear weapon? Well, we gotta invade Iraq. It's the same fucking thing. We had intelligence then that Iraq did not have WMDs. We had intelligence now that Iran was not making a WMD. And yet, here we are. The same type of people making the same fucking excuses for the same fucking scenario one country over. Like, it's just fucking the same thing. And conservatives fall for it every fucking time. Every time. Gullible fucking sheep. And, in the coming days, in the coming hours, there will be so many different conservative voices jerking off.
Weapons of mass distraction.
I mean, yeah, no kidding. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. But, it's going to be conservatives jerking off, and when inevitably Iran does retaliate because they were just bombed, they just had a $5 trillion nuclear energy program go up in smoke. When they inevitably retaliate for that, then suddenly it's going to be, well, we have to invade to show them who's boss. When they inevitably shut down the Strait of Hormuz and shut down oil shipping, then the United States is going to start banging that war drum. I'm a disabled vet from going into Iraq the second time based on false intel. Mad as hell. It's literally the same. And the thing is, you'll have conservatives popping into chats being like, oh no, it's totally different this time. Do you want them to have nuclear weapons? And it's just the same fucking shit. I was old enough to remember what they were saying about Iraq. It's the same shit. And our own Democratic leadership is too cowardly to do a damn thing about it. Hakeem Jeffries didn't even condemn it as an illegal attack on Iran. Instead, he was just like, we should have been briefed. Are you kidding me? It's clown shit. This should be the easiest litmus test in the world, and Democrats are going to fail it en masse. I'm so mad. Conservative Reddit is already doing that and celebrating. Oh, of course. Because they're the biggest saps on the goddamn planet. The biggest patsies. The easiest marks. It's why they constantly fall for, multi-level marketing schemes. They're all going to congratulate themselves on what an excellent business decision they made, buying so much, I don't know, Nutra... whatever the big multi-level marketing thing was. That joke would have been really great if I would have remembered that. Well, the thing about American diabolism is that it's genuinely true an unfortunate amount of the time. Nutrilife, thank you, Paladin Lost. I wanted to say Nutrigrain, but I don't think that was right. Didn't think that was right. They didn't even bother to manufacture consent this time, but you want to know what's going to happen? Mainstream media like the New York Times is definitely going to. NBC, definitely going to. I don't trust any of these mainstream outlets to actually, push back on this at all. Herbalife is huge here in Utah. Yeah, I wonder why. That and Amway? Yeah, wasn't joking about falling for the multi-level marketing schemes. This is bringing back nightmares? I don't doubt it. Yeah, I mean, the main takeaway from Trump's address is essentially that he's threatening additional strikes. You guys picked that up, right? When he's talking about how there are many more targets that are very easily hit, what he's saying is, we're going to do more airstrikes. That is the president of the United States ripping apart the Constitution. But he mentioned God and patriotism. Of course, John Brongus. So, conservatives will think it's all fine. As long as you pay lip service to God and patriotism, God and country, as long as you do that, conservatives don't give a shit. Elizabeth Warren is speaking out against it. I imagine the dyed-in-the-wool progressives are going to speak out about it, but, the Democratic Party leadership is weak as hell. I don't believe that they're going to actually do anything. Oh, you know what? Maybe this will be the time that Democrats respond in a time and place of their choosing. I wouldn't expect any criticism from the AIPAC wing of the DNC. Yeah, I'm not expecting it at all. They're all fine with this. The official response from Hakeem Jeffries, I've read it, and it is essentially, why didn't you include us? That's how much it meant. It's just whining about not being briefed and Democratic leadership not being briefed prior to this. Yeah, Iran's nuclear agency is saying that they will, quote, never allow the progress of this national industry to be halted. So I'm guessing some kind of work in that field is going to continue. And we need to clean fucking house in the DNC. Yeah, we do. That, again, it's why I've been pleading and begging all y'all to get involved in your local Democratic Party. Because genuinely, we need to get those motherfuckers out. They're like an infestation. Yeah, they planned it all out a long time ago. Well, yeah, I still don't know if I believe that. I don't believe that Donald Trump can keep a lie going for a long period of time. Not when it's not in his best interest anyway. Well, maybe he views it in his best interest. Who fucking... I guess I just don't fucking care. if he was deliberately lying or not. I don't care about that. Went to my first county Dem meeting today. Glad to see I was right. I'm glad you did. Know me, Sunrider. Got to get more good voices in those rooms. Well, the Dems seem like controlled opposition right now because the Dems are controlled opposition in the sense that they are the minority party in basically every sense. Well, this is interesting. Apparently, Iranian radio and television has reported damage has been limited to 2 tunnels, the entrance and exit of Fordo, though the main facility might be undamaged. Apparently, this is the first known instance of the bomb being used operationally. A 30,000-pound bomb with 6,000 rounds of explosives designed for reaching and destroying weapons of mass destruction located in well-protected facilities. But, like, the credulity of CNN is, frankly, insane. You know? Well, what Israel does, will depend on how Iran acts. Again, it's the manufacturing of consent. It's already begun. Oh, the UN chief expresses grave alarm at U.S. attacks on Iran. Antonio Guterres is describing the U.S. attacks on Iran as a dangerous escalation, warning that the conflict in the Middle East could quickly get out of control. I'm gravely alarmed by the use of force by the United States against Iran today. This is a dangerous escalation in a region already on the edge and a direct threat to international peace and security. There's a growing risk that this conflict could rapidly get out of control with catastrophic consequences for civilians, the region, and the world. I call on the member states to de-escalate and uphold their obligations under the UN Charter and other rules of international law. At this perilous hour, it is critical to avoid a spiral of chaos. There is no military solution. The only path forward is diplomacy. The only hope is peace. And you know what? He is right. He is right. There is no amount of war that is going to fix this issue. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard has issued a statement saying severe punishment awaits the United States. Every American asset in the Middle East will be within our reach.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather around. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the scenes. Politics, being flame more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's